this thing on? Okay. What's going on, guys? Adam here with Urban Audio, coming at you today with some really cool rundown of a little piece I've been kind of peeking at over the last couple of months. So if you know anything about me and you've been watching my page or you've been following any updates I've been posting, back in November, I got in contact with Jeremy at Wstlnd Guitars, who is a custom luthier based out of Austin, Texas. Very, very cool dude, very down to earth, plays in a band himself, shout out to design, and heard about him through some friends of mine. Rafe actually is in a band, Insurgents, also out of Austin, Texas, and he, I believe, is working on his second custom with Jeremy now, which his first one was kind of where I started looking at the line and was like, wow, the work from this guy is absolutely impeccable. The tonal options that I'm hearing and the clarity out of the instruments and just what he's able to do with design builds and kind of adding his own unique taste to them really turned me on to kind of want to talk to him about pursuing a sponsorship as well as obviously a custom build. So fast forward, obviously in November, we kind of started throwing some design ideas out there. And what's really great is Jeremy is, loves to take the vision of somebody and put it to life, which is what I think a luthier should do. I kind of gave him, hey, here's A, B, C, D, all the way through whatever options we kind of talked about, and just said, this is what I'm looking for. Can you do this? Do you have a template for this? Do we need to create something? And probably every 2 days, I'd say, we were back and forth in communication, shooting me, hey, does this look good to you? Can we approve it? So being someone in customer service, someone who's dealt as, in managerial roles and is all about detail and communication, Jeremy was top notch in that over anybody I've ever dealt with in a vendor wise before in terms of musical products. So first and foremost, that was a big 100% key to me, especially when it comes to putting money down for an instrument, all the bills that go, something goes wrong, you're pretty much playing with fire as you're building it. So the updates were coming very quickly. I mean, Jeremy pretty much had most of the body of the guitar done by December, January. And I actually believe I received the guitar probably late February, early March. So like I said, this video has been a long time coming. It's been quite a few busy weeks, slash months, slash I guess you could say a year, kind of getting all this to where it's at now with my brand, Urban Audio, which we'll have more updates on soon. So in the midst of that, framing out a live room, I do appreciate you guys' patience on this because I know some of you would really pique an interest, but I promise you it's well worth the wait. So with that being said, what I was really looking for was something that could, A, hold tension, first and foremost, on the string gauge that I need, because obviously the lower you go, the thicker gauge strings you need, and sometimes that can lead to floppiness if you're on a shorter scale length. Secondly, going kind of with that, is most things on the market that you can get of a, let's call, consumer grade line, semi-custom, whatever, usually taper off at about the 27 to 28 inch scale length. Now that's totally fine. Most of my 8-string guitars are 27 to 27 and a half inch scale length, which is perfect. I've figured out the string gauges. It's a science behind it all, as most of you guys watching this will probably know. But it was just still something that was like, there's not necessarily I need all 8 strings all the time. There's not necessarily sometimes I need all 7 strings. But 6 strings just feels comfortable, but it's also at the end of the day, like I said, if I'm dealing with weird obscure tunings, drop tunings, open tunings with lower notes, things of that sort, I need something that's going to be able to hold that, feel comfortable in playing and not feel like I'm floppy, especially when I hit the studio, or in turn, obviously, take it out live. So that being said, that was really 2 big factors. Obviously, a third one, being a guy who obviously likes his custom things and likes having something that not necessarily everybody else has, that's kind of a one-off issue per se, is another reason why I was really thrown into what Jeremy does. On top of that, though, it was really nice to be able to kind of come with an idea, say, hey, here's what I'm looking at, here's kind of the body cut I'm looking at, bevels, this and that, and he just knocked it out of the freaking park with it. One big thing that I was a fan of, and it seems to have a more resurgence in most recent years, and especially for what I saw at NAMM, a lot of those companies doing, is the Gibson RD body shape. It's got a really obscure kind of like expanded butt to it, but obviously kind of has that kind of slim taper around the top heel and the bottom for you to kind of get more comfortable when playing it. But being a fan of obviously not only SGs, but the ESP Viper shape as well, I kind of want to try and blend the two and make a little bit of my own instrument. So without further ado, let's pull this bad boy and this monster and show you exactly what we're looking at. So this here is my custom Wstlnd Baritone Leviathan 30.2 inch 6-string. As you see, just this top is just unbelievable. So as you see that, it goes into a white and black pale moon or ebony fretboard, as we call it. to an obviously matching headstock, which is unfreaking believable. Flipping it to the back, going from the headstock, is we've got Hipshot 18:1 gear ratio locking tuners, going through a 4-piece Padauk neck all the way through the body, attaching to some Australian Blackwood wings, and then Jeremy did me the solid, which we'll flip back over, and did a matching battery cover to the top. But as you see here, there's a little battery compartment, and that's because I get to plug my pickups in and charge them. So these bad boys are the Fishman Fluence Will Adlers. If you know anything about the Fishman Fluence line, they have been all over the news. Unbelievable clarity, unbelievable tone, and a lot of variation between the line, even in the Fluence. Fast forwarding back to about a year and a half ago, I had done some swapping of some pickups in an 8-string of mine that I was using at the time for another project. Wasn't really happy with the stock pickups that were in it, so I said, hey, why not bite the bullet and try it out? Ended up throwing a set of the Fishman Fluence Steph Carpenter 8-strings in there, and unbelievable tone. Clarity, punch, low end growl, grit, but even throw it on a clean channel with some nice reverb and delay, it's unbelievable. Ethereal, atmospheric, just the pickups I can't preach more about. More than likely we'll be throwing more of them in more arsenals and more Wstlnd builds over time. But that being said, the game plan here with Jeremy is I'm just absolutely in love with the guitar. There's nothing bad I can say about it, but I honestly couldn't be happier and really looking forward to kind of revamping my current arsenal of guitars and making this nothing but Wstlnd Guitars studio. So I'm going to shut up talking here, but I am going to give you guys a little taste. So if you're familiar with any of my projects, I'm currently in a band from Cleveland called Cholera, who has been around for a little while now. And we actually just recently, last June, June, released our first LP. I've been with the band about 3 years now, and that LP is called Obliteration Humanity. You can find on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, all that fun stuff. But we decided to take the fall and winter off because we had some different restructuring the band, kind of revamping it, and basically now down to a 4-piece. Back harder than ever, really focusing on some of these new tunes. So I figured, hey, well, I've been busy here in the studio, especially during the quarantine and all that. Might as well give you a sneak peek at some new material we've been working on. So check it out. Hope you enjoy, and look for more content coming soon from Wstlnd Guitars, myself, and Urban Audio.